Hello and welcome to Prep for Success, a program produced by students for students. I'm your host, Quincy O'Brien. On this program, we'll be going over the necessary steps to get you started for a successful college experience at Miami-Dade College. On this program, we will guide you through the financial aid department and what your best financial aid options are. To help us understand more about financial aid and what's available for you, we have Director of Financial Aid at the North Campus, Shemaine Garrison. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're just going to jump right in, and I want you to tell me, what is financial aid?
Well, financial aid is funds that are available to help students finance their education. And financial aid actually started around 1968, and it was a part of the war on poverty, which basically the president at that time decided that he was going to somehow bridge the gap between the poor and the upper class and obtaining a college education. And he felt that that was something that would allow that gap to be bridged. So that's how financial aid came about. That's federal financial aid. Financial aid consists of many types of aid and funding sources, starting with federal funding. That's usually where most of the financial aid starts. And then we also have state aid, and we also have institutional aid. So most colleges and universities have their own financial aid that they raise for the college specifically and through donors. So those are the different types of financial aid sources. And basically those funds are used to help students finance their education.
Okay, and so for those students coming into a college, who's eligible? How do you know if you can get financial aid to go to school?
Well, when it comes to federal financial aid, there is a specific population of students that are eligible to receive federal financial aid. Basically, you must be a permanent resident in the United States in order to be eligible for consideration for federal aid. So students fill out the FAFSA form, which on that form, they are asked their legal status in the country, and you need to have a social security number in order to fill that out. And they also have checks that they use with the Department of Homeland Security to check the student's immigration status and eligibility. So for federal aid, you must be a legal resident in this country. However, for state aid and for many of the scholarships, students don't necessarily have to have a legal status in the country. So we do have a large population of students that are immigrants to the country and they haven't established legal residence yet in the country. They can still apply for many scholarships and some of the state financial aid they would still be eligible to receive.
And approximately how many students are receiving financial aid at Miami-Dade College?
Well, at Miami-Dade College, for North Campus specifically, last year we had about 29,000 students that actually completed the FAFSA, and we received an ISER, which is the electronic record that comes from the Department of Education. But college-wide, there were over 114,000 applicants that applied for financial aid last year. That's
amazing. So it just really broadens the amount of people who can go to college, who never thought they'd be able to go to college and get an education.
Absolutely.
That's really inspiring. And how many advisors and student assistants do you have working in your department?
Well, in the North Campus, we have 8 full-time financial aid advisors. We have 4 full-time support staff that help with the clerical responsibilities in the office. And then we have about 4 part-time staff members. A couple of them are advisors and some are clerical members that help. We also hire student assistants, which is a type of financial aid. The students receive what's called college work study, and they can work on campus and they earn funding through that work study program. So those students, they come into the office and they help us with the day-to-day operations. Sometimes they help us with answering the phone and filing documents, and sometimes they even answer questions to students that come in for information.
So you do need a lot of people helping you in there. How early can students apply for financial aid, and what is the deadline that they need to meet?
Well, one of my mottos here, specifically at the North Campus, and I say it to students all the time, financial aid time is tax time. So whenever you're filing your taxes for the year, that's the same time you should be filing your FAFSA for the next academic year. So around January, actually January 1st, the FAFSA is available for the next academic year. So right now, students are applying for financial aid for next fall. So that would be August 2013. So this is when they should start, and this would be an early start to assure that by the time the classes start in the fall term, their financial aid is complete. However, Miami-Dade College right now does not have a hard deadline as it relates to when you can submit your documents, but we strongly encourage students to apply by March 15th of each year, and the state deadline is around that same time. So if they want to be eligible for state scholarships and grants, then they want to fill out their FAFSA in Florida by March 15th, and for Miami-Dade, we strongly recommend that they do it around that same date in order to assure that we can have everything complete in time for their classes for the upcoming academic year, which starts in the fall.
Okay, so then just out of those questions, we have many more questions to ask you, so thank you. To learn more about the financial aid department, locations in every campus, hours of operations, and the tools needed to apply for financial aid, you can visit them at mdc.edu/main/financial aid. Again, that's mdc.edu/main/financial aid. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with Ms. Garrison and the financial aid department. Stay tuned.
Miami-Dade College, 8 campuses, 7 bachelor degrees. Miami-Dade College is the largest institution of higher education in the United States. With 8 campuses and 7 bachelor degrees, Miami-Dade College has the right education for you. Film, television and digital production, health science, public safety management, supervision and management, education, electronic engineering technology, and nursing. 8 campuses, 7 bachelor degrees. Miami-Dade College, the power of opportunity.
Fresh thinking is being served at Miami-Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.
Welcome back. As you prepare for your education at Miami-Dade College, you need to look at all of your options for financial aid. We continue our conversation with the Director of Financial Aid at the North Campus, Shemaine Garrison. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So as we left off, we were talking about how many people were working in the department. What are some of the main issues you face at the financial aid department here on Miami-Dade College?
Well, I would say probably the main issue is that students need to apply early. We have far more students applying in the summer, like towards May, June, July, for classes that are going to start in August for the new academic year than we should. Students should really apply in January and in February when they first complete their taxes or when their parents file their taxes. Like I said before, that's the best time. However, in addition to that challenge, one of the other challenges is students sometimes make the error of thinking that applying for FAFSA, completing their FAFSA, is the beginning and the end of the process. However, it isn't. It is the beginning of the process. The Department of Education also sends information to each school, and then the schools have to collect certain documents if required in order to complete the process. And sometimes students take a while to bring in those documents. So we send them several reminders via email. Sometimes we also send them through regular mail if we're not getting a response. And what we expect is that those documents should be turned in no later than 10 days after the day that we received it to assure that we complete the process in a timely manner. But students sometimes have a delay in turning in those documents, such as their tax returns or tax transcripts from the IRS. We might ask for copies of verification worksheet, which is a form that we have online, and students need to get in there and complete those processes quickly. Another challenge is having students maintain their federal financial aid eligibility. So once you receive financial aid, it doesn't mean that you're going to have it forever. You have to first of all apply each academic year, and you have to maintain satisfactory academic progress. If students do not meet our minimum standards, they can lose their financial aid eligibility because their GPA might be less than 2.0. They're not completing as many credits as they need to each semester. So we look at their completion rate. And we also look at the total time frame that a student is enrolled in courses for a specific program. So if your program is only a certain amount of credits, for instance 60, then we're only gonna cover up to 90 credits. After that, the student loses eligibility. So those are some of the main challenges, is making sure that students understand that they need to turn in documents and that they need to keep a high standard of academic progress.
Right. And so you mentioned that they have to fill out several documents, especially the FAFSA. That's the first step. What information should they have on hand when filling these forms out?
To complete the FAFSA, the information that's required is, first of all, you need your income information. Now, students mistake that to mean that they had to file taxes. We sort of put those two things together because most people file taxes in the U.S. However, not everyone filed taxes. So if you had untaxed income or you had any other type of income, that needs to be reported on the FAFSA. So all of your income information from the previous year is required in order to complete the FAFSA. If you're filling the form out for the 2013-2014 academic year, then you would need the 2012 income. Okay, so whether that's income from filing taxes, Social Security benefits, received child support, or any of that type of information. Also, Social Security numbers are required. If you're not a U.S. citizen and you have an alien registration number, you'll need that information for the FAFSA. And a student that's a dependent student needs to provide the information for themselves and for their parents as it relates to their Social Security number, name, and date of birth. So that's the general information that's required for the FAFSA. They're going to ask you things like your high school graduation date and the name of the high school that you attended. So those types of general information are also required.
So that seems like a lot of information they need to be prepared to have.
Yes.
How long would you say they normally need to set aside to do all of these, to take care of all of these things?
To complete the FAFSA, once they sit in the front of the computer, most students, I think, can finish the FAFSA form in about an hour or less. But good news, we have financial aid workshops here at the campus and at all of the Miami-Dade campuses, where we would go in and we have a session with a financial aid professional to help students fill out the FAFSA from beginning to end. You just bring your documents in with you, and someone will be there to help answer the questions. Usually when we do the workshops, students can finish these FAFSA forms in 30 minutes or less, because we're there to help them through the process.
Well, thank you so much for taking your time out of the day and coming to speak with us. It was really helpful information, and I'm full of other questions, and I'm sure everyone else out there is too. So to learn more about the Financial Aid Department, locations in every campus, hours of operation, and the tools needed to apply for financial aid, you can visit them at mdc.edu/main/financial aid. Again, that's mdc.edu/main/financial aid. Well, that's all the time we have for this program. Join us next time when we explore more successful choices for you in Prep for Success. Until then, have a great day.